Get clean. Once you're clean, you'll be able to think. Our contribution. Carry on like this and you'll end up dead. Shut the fuck up. I'm a grown man. Just fuck off. We fucking loved it. All of it. Wallop, chisel, bugle, whatever you want to call it. The drink, the white, the brown, the K, the Mandy, all of it. If it's wrapped up, it's getting snapped up. We had no problem getting it either. The missus, she's like a fucking bloodhound. You know, we could be anywhere in the world, anywhere. She'll disappear. Half hour later, she'll come back and it'll be, I'm ordered in. Anywhere. Library, church, job centre, solicitors, Tesco. She's even picked up at a fucking primary school. Anywhere. They say, in London, you're never more than 6 feet from a rat. Well, let me tell you, when you're with her, anywhere in the world, you're never more than half hour away from a bag of gear. She's like a narcotic dowsing rod. This one night, 3 a.m, we're coming back from some squat party in Wales, right out in the sticks. I've chawed up a motor, fucking old school Fiesta thing, right rattler. Absolute beauty rolling downhill, but she popped like a clown going up it. I got out, as you do, to have a butcher's, and I shit you not, before I even shut the door, I hear the other door click shut. I look over and she's done a fucking Paul Daniels, nowhere to be seen, off into the darkness, the wilderness. Half hour later, she turns up, covered in river reeds, stinking of unleaded petrol and a bloody nose, dog lead in one hand and 2 bags in the other. Fuck me, they call it gift of the bag. Hang about, right, we're stuck out here in the sticks, fuck knows what wolves and creatures they've got in Wales, and rather than try and find someone, anyone, who can fix our car or give us a lift, you come back with this. How the fuck are we meant to get home? Hey, don't call it marching powder for nothing, she says. When we got together, she never touched the gear. She was on antidepressants and she drank. I'm not talking about a couple of pints on a Friday night, no. She drank. You know, we'd get a load up from the one stop, 5 minutes away from the house, and by the time you got home, there'd be an empty vodka bottle in the bag. Her lot told her to stay away from me. My lot told me to stay away from her. Shut the fuck up, I'm a grown man, just fuck off. Everyone's buzzing around, telling us what we should and shouldn't do, getting themselves all worked up. Meanwhile, we're having a fucking whale of a time. Yeah, we drank, we danced, we laughed, we fucked, we loved, we fought. And when I say we fought, I mean we fought. I'm a feminist, you know, I'll punch anyone in the face if they deserve it. To not punch her purely on the basis that she's a female would make me the exact opposite of a feminist. So, in the interests of feminism and equality, we would knock 10 bells of shit out of each other. You know, she'd give me a wallop and knock one of my fucking teeth out. What am I meant to do? I drew the fucking line though, you know, a tear up's one thing, but there is a line. And she didn't think so. We'd go at each other, fists, elbows, teeth, the odd knee, but she fucking loved a weapon. You know, you'd be right in the middle of it, jab, duck, punch, and all of a sudden, crack, she pulled out a broom handle or an empty bottle off the side. I mean, a knife, I can deal with a knife. Stab here or there with a knife, painful as it may be, as frightening as it may be. I've got a lot of time for a knife. Knife shows some respect. It says, I'm going to stab you, and I've shown you the respect and had the decency to pick the right tool for the job, like a plumber. Right, a plumber turns up and he goes, oh look, your pipe's broken, we're going to need to fix that. Let me just fetch my pipe cutter. A tool specifically designed for cutting pipes. And we'll just neatly slot the new piece in place after and blah, blah, blah. But can you imagine for a second that plumber turns out, he sees your pipe, he turns around and he says to you, oh look, your pipe's broke. Let me just fetch my sledgehammer. Yeah, a tool specifically designed for not cutting pipes. You'd be like, you listen to me, Plum Bob. There's no fucking way in hell that you are getting anywhere near my pipes with that hammer, you fat-handed fucking cowboy. Sink could be in 1,000 pieces. Your pipes would be in tatters. The carnage. The lack of respect. Well, that's not too dissimilar to when your missus decides to stab you with a fork. Or a chopstick or a breadboard, for Christ's sake. Trust me, I've had them all. And I'd take a fucking knife any day of the week. A pair of star-crossed lovers. Someone wrote that, I think. Not about us. Our worlds are spinning. Faster and faster. Out of fucking control. Not out of our control. No, we're strapped in and enjoying the ride. Stop, they said. Slow down. They said, shut the fuck up. I'm a grown man. Just fuck off. They didn't give us 6 months, the relationship. They said if it lasted longer than that, then neither of us would have lived beyond a year, the way we fucking hammered it. Shut the fuck up. I'm a grown man. Just fuck off. 4 years of kissing, kicking, sniffing, licking. It's Christmas, right? We're off at the back end of a 4-day bender. I'm in my dressing gown bouncing around the front room and the toot is en route. Ah, the arrival, obviously. It's the bugle. Alright, fucking calm down. I'm not trying to spend my Christmas banged up, you prick. I swear to fucking God, one more beep and I'll stab that prick. That's it, I'm out the front door, I'm all over him like a rash. She tries to pull me back, but I'm still going for him full windmill. She's standing there next to me in pieces, screaming, please, please, please. Bang, 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 bang. And then someone, a bystander, a fucking do-gooder, have-a-go hero, grabs my shoulder. Fuck that, so I spin around. I wouldn't say I punched, like full-on steamed in. It was more of a forceful, like a backhand wallop. Straight down like a sack of shit, and this person just face plants on the deck. It takes a second or two, but out the corner of my eye I see something familiar. I always wanted to be strong, when you were little. When I grew up, that's what I wanted to be. And strength is very black and white when you're little. Superman, obviously, and then just above him is your dad. And obviously my dad is stronger than your dad, and there ain't a fucking thing or person stronger than my dad. Fact. It's like trying to imagine what's at the end of space. If you were to keep flying forever for all the black in the sky and just keep going, what would be at the end? Would you get to an end? Can't imagine it, can you? That's what it's like. You cannot imagine that your dad isn't anything but the strongest thing in the fucking universe. I recognised the back of the cardigan. The low-slung jeans, the belt, the two dimples in the lower back of the person on all fours, the skin. What was out of the ordinary was the position, the vulnerability, the frail way in which he was trying and failing to get up, shaking. And gradually what happens is that the shaking gets a little bit more, effort. Then his arms sort of give up. And he goes down, his face does, his arse is still in the air, but the shaking, it's all stopped. The shaking, the effort, the breathing, stopped dead. You ever play pinball? The ball, this tiny little helpless ball, gets fucking rocketed up the chute, then smashes into a pillar, and that's it. He's on the main board, fucking flippers knocking him up and down. He's one side, then he's the other. Ding, ding, blah, ding. He hasn't got any idea where he is, spinning and spinning all over the shop. Then gradually, slowly but surely, the ball finds his way to the middle of the board. Out of the reach of the flippers, no more bells or sounds, just spinning on the spot. And that's it. He just slowly starts to roll back. Straight down the middle of the two flippers, and in the blink of an eye, he's gone. Game over. By the time I've gained back the ability to even try and do anything, by the time I've unfroze, the crowd of people covering Dad. Some old fella's pumping on his chest, there's an ambulance pulling up, people all talking to each other. I can see all this, I can see everything that's going on, but I can't hear anything or feel. And I don't know who or how, but he's on the stretcher, being put into the ambulance. Mum's there as well, and she's fucking bawling. I mean, we're talking GCSE drama bawling. As these paramedics, I'm fucking all over the shop, and I ring Mum to see what's going on. Red button. She's telling me never to speak to her. I ring my brother, and he's fucking blocked me. I ain't got a fucking clue what's going on. I think, right, fuck it, hospital. I'll bell them, they'll tell me. Not a dickie. How can you do that to someone? I get that, it happened, the heart attack, it happened while I was there, but it's not my fault. I mean, if it was going to happen, if his heart was in that bad a shape, then by my call, it's actually lucky it happened when it did. If he'd have been at home, of an afternoon on his tob watching a scary film or something, that's it. Mum would have got home to find him killed over on the couch. But when you look at it, the fact that I'd drawn a crowd and actually had people nearby, people who could respond and help straight away, it's our fault. Oh, the fucking wreckheads. We told them someone would end up dead, selfish. Cut off from both of our families. I ain't allowed to see him, he don't want to see me, no fuckers talking to me. Trying to explain that reasoning that I possibly saved his life. I'm the villain, and I. Even she's at it. You're a wreck, you're a liability. Go on then, go on, what do we do, eh? What do I do? What do I do? We know. We both know, they've all said it for years. We know what they think. It wouldn't make it right getting clean, don't get me wrong. It wouldn't be one of those, you see it on the telly, didn't you? Hi guys, I'm John, I'm an addict. I've got too much timber around the waist, a piss poor haircut, and I dress like I found my fucking clothes in the bin, but I want to change. I'm really about change. I want to be better. Make me better so I can post a fucking picture on Facebook and 100 cunts I don't give a fuck about can give me a thumbs up. Yay! Then they fuck off for a couple of hours, didn't they? Throw them into a tent with a flamboyant hairdresser and some twat who knows what's in season. Yeah, the blue works great. Really slims your face. And voila. An hour later they turn up to be unveiled. A new man. New clobber. Barnet all done up. Bit of slap on the mush. You've all seen it. What they've done is they roll a shit in glitter. Families, they all go up, don't they? I couldn't be prouder, John. I'm so proud. You've changed. Of course he's fucking changed. They just literally changed him. They threw him in a changing room and yanked the fucking clothes off his back. You think he's happy? You think he's going to go home and throw all that clobber out of his wardrobe and suddenly start drinking lattes and reading the fucking Economist? That's it, I said. What's it, she goes. That's it, we're done. You're off it, she says. Quite the opposite, actually. No more off it. No more on it. It is out the window. I'm lashing it all in the bin. The bottles, the bags, the dregs, the works, the meds, all of it. Clean is clean. So we did. We binned a lot. They still wouldn't speak to me. Their family. Let alone tell me how he was. She didn't speak a word either. We both just sat sort of, strangely more out of it than when we were actually out of it. Watching the telly, but fuck me, we could have been watching Goldfish. Glazed. It got to me. The not knowing. I'm sitting there pressing the rounded bit of the remote into my eye socket and I look over her and she's just sat there. I don't know where from, but she's got a bit of a, not a smile, but a look. Neutral. Like we could just be any ordinary couple. If someone were to take a snapshot, border force on the telly, 2 cups of tea, the lunchtime workers passing by our ground floor flat window, warm, everything clean, us clean. The house smells of citrus and fabric softener. It'd been a while since either of us hadn't been, and she couldn't see, but I was just watching her. Something came on the telly and her lips curled up, gave her these little, people call them crow's feet, but on her they were crow bags. It didn't happen at the side, in the corners. It just sort of pushed her cheeks up and filled these dark little bags under her eyes. She couldn't look more beautiful. A week has gone by and I have no idea if my dad is alive. What the fuck am I meant to do? So that's it. I thought, I'm fucking going round there. No answer. I know you're in there. I can see the lights and the telly. Mum, it's me. I know you don't want me here. Me and her, we've stopped. We ain't drinking or nothing anymore. None of that nonsense. I just like to know what's going on, please. And I know you think that I don't deserve it. Since they took him away, I haven't heard anything, and whatever my part, whatever I did, that's my dad. And I should know, because I don't, and I should, and if I can help, I'm sorry. The fucking door swings open. It's my fucking brother. There's me going on like I'm trying to win a fucking Oscar, spilling my guts all over the front doorstep. As heartfelt as I'd ever been with anyone ever, that fucking prick opens the door. Stood in his fucking dressing gown, shaking his fucking head like a cross between a substitute teacher and Hugh Hefner. We don't get on, in case you hadn't guessed. This situation aside, he's a prick. Went to fucking uni, got himself a missus, ordered dapper clobber, and fuck knows where he gets it because he don't fucking work. We're practically the same. The difference is in the branding. I go out and get on it. He socialises. I'm on the dole. He's in the arts. There's absolutely no difference whatsoever. Yet him and all his uni pals seem to get fucking applauded for going festival, yeah. Oh, so cultured, so artsy. Bollocks. You're not welcome here, he says, sipping a fucking Horlicks. Prick. Look, I go, welcome or not, that's I heard your little speech, he says. You're not welcome here. Then smash, he slams the door in my face. Breathe. I'm sober. I'm cool. I'm calm. I've gone straight into the offie and grabbed this 6-pack. I thought it couldn't be bad, or as bad as I thought it was, because Mum wasn't home. If she weren't home, she must have been at the hospital with him. Marry me, I said to the missus. I promised her. When we stopped all the gear, I sold a few bits and bobs and cleared up my dealer. He thought Christmas had come early. I owed him so much. I put $1,000 or so by it to get her a ring. We chatted about it quite a few times, so I knew which one I was going for. Every time we walk past the shop, she'd say, "Oh, let's stop and have a look." There's me giving it the, "Oh, do we have to?" When really, my belly's going, innit? There's no way I could fuck this up. She's seen the same one about 20 times, and every time we go back, I blag it. "Oh, that's the one you like, innit?" Blatantly pointing at the wrong one. Then she does her nut. "Oh, you don't listen to me. Why don't you listen?" We might seem dysfunctional, but every couple is the same, aren't they? We like a drink and stuff, and we get a bit heated, and yeah, we make each other cry, but we're people. We make each other smile. We're brutal, but we're tender. I picked her some flowers on the way home. They were growing in one of those tufts of moss down the side of the butcher's. They look quite scraggly, but ultimately they're destined to be cleaned off by the council, pissed on by a dog or scraped off by a do-good, and no one expects much of them. Overlooked in favour of more conventional bunches. But they looked pretty. You take them out of the dirty, grotty alley, you get rid of the bad leaves. I made a bow out of one of my shoelaces. You would have thought I bought them from a petrol station or something. Oh, she sniffed a drink on me, didn't she? The six-pack. "Have you been drinking?" "How fucking dare you?" Just because you can smell a drink on me, you jump to the assumption that you're holding half a six-pack, you numpty, she says. Oh, God, and my brother's turned up. The prick, what's he doing here? You've got some front coming round like that. Did you think about whether or not they might have been home? Well, yeah, actually I did. That's why I didn't come round to see you, did I? Yeah, you're lucky you didn't. Oh, I am I? Go on, why? I held back. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I, for once, didn't want to fight. And he's come to my front door now, threatening me. Well, now it's all going off. I've got him in one ear, trying to get in the front door, her in the other ear, both going right at it. Fuck it, out the front door. I go, "Where are you going?" She says, "Where do you think I'm going, you fucking numpty?" Are you fucking stupid? Last time you had a row in the street, look what happened. Shut the fuck up. I am a grown man. Just fuck off. And that was it. We're out the front again. I just have to say, anyone who lives near me, within viewing distance of my front doorstep, they're constantly entertained. Well, we're brother fighting though, aren't we? It's like when you fight, but you don't really fight. You hold it back a bit, don't you? I think I also tried to have it with the old Bill when they turned up, because I remember when they put the cuffs on, they had to spray me with the old CS spray. I imagine that as they took me away, she was saying, "I told you so. You fucking idiot. What did I say?" "Oh, shut the fuck up. I'm a grown man, just fuck off." So that was a cold. When something might not necessarily be cold, but the look of it, the colour, the shape, they all go together and make it seem cold. Like white. White is a cool colour, isn't it? Villas are white, fridges, snow, white. White says cool and clean. Well, cell walls are like a sanitary turquoise. It says clinical. Not wanted, but necessary. No room for warmth, but not cool either. Just cold. All the corners of the room are rounded, and a solid bed and a steel toilet, all in this room without any seams, as if the whole room was moulded out of concrete and steel, and an industrial-sized ice tray then just popped out of the mould and put there. It's quite funny how they call it doing time. In those cells, there isn't time. Everything's going on outside, and in that box, in that room, time is frozen. There's no clock. The window's so high up and so thick, made out of those glass blocks that look like the bottom of pint glasses, that you can't see the world. Just a hazy, distorted version of what might be outside. Smell of disinfectant and piss. And the air seems to carry the weight of all this and all that is to come. Heavy. Dense. I'm sat on the side of this fucking wretch of a bed, blue plastic fucking mattress so the guards can clean it, and one of the pissed up prisoners pisses themselves. All I can hear is the clatter of disgruntled residents. "Let me out, you cunt," banging, the slamming of doors, a cacophony of displeasure. And the sun just about angled itself perfectly through my 12-inch thick glass cube window, so that the beam of light is casting down just by the toilet, and all I can see is the dust that's passing through this little corridor of sunlight, freely floating across that beam of light before it disappears as it falls out of the width of the beam. I'm fucking lost in this display of dancing dust when all of a sudden the door goes. Here we go, off to do an interview, bit of DNA, mugshot, then they'll slap me on the wrist and tell me to fuck off. He opens my cell door and he just stands there. I would fucking hate to play poker with this fucker because he's not fucking giving me anything. And then he does this. You know, he bites his lip and raises his eyebrows, you know. And now I'm shitting myself. You know, I know I've got previous, but surely they ain't going to bang me up again. Not for this fucking nonsense. Come on, he says softly. Well, I'm lost. I've no idea what's going on. So I get up, confused, and slowly I make my way over to the door. The whole time he can't make eye contact with me. It's fucking weird, I'm thinking. Normally, when they take you through a questionnaire and all of that nonsense, they're quite forceful. You know, come on, silly bollocks, let's get you processed, then we'll see you in court, blah, 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 blah. I can't put my finger on it. And we walk down the corridor past the interview rooms. What's going on, I say. Nothing. Poker face. Come in here, he says. There's some water on the table, I'll be back in a minute. Water on the fuck? What? So I have a look around. Am I being stitched up? I'm just in a normal, one of their office type rooms. No interview equipment. Kettle on the side. Fucking window that if I wanted I could just jump out onto the street. I could literally just go now. But I don't. I sit and I wait. I must have been sat down for, 2 minutes? Seemed like 2 hours. And this time he comes back in with another 2 guys, both who come over to sit next to me. After the 2 blokes come in, it's my mum. No one says anything. No one needs to. When I saw her big blonde hair, mum's got hair a bit like David Bowie, you know. No one told her after the 80s that style had gone out of fashion. And when I saw it, I thought, you know, she's going to go off at me like a fucking firework. That's why she's here. I'm in all sorts of shit. Then, as she got into the room, at first it just looked like she was blowing her nose, you know. Handful of tissues face down in both of her palms. It was the hand of the old Bill on her shoulder, you know, comforting. That give it away. My fucking world just falls to... You know when you know something... She can't even look at me. Still heaving these deep, heavy, high-pitched sobs, and she somehow waddles over to me and she can't really get the words out. I don't know what it is, but you don't really. Not until they say it. Mum, what is it? I managed to partially get out before realising that I'm crying like a fucking baby as well. Lost all bodily control. It's at times like that you just wish that you could press pause on life. Now, if she says it, it actually says it, and those words leave her mouth. If she tells me what I know she's about to tell me, everything changes. If I just ran, if I just jumped out the fucking window and went and lived in solitude in the middle of a forest, you'll be alone, granted, but you could be happy. You could have this faraway, deluded image in your head of all those people you love, just going about things as usual. You know, you get to like 70 and you'd still be wondering what Nan and Grandad and Mum and Dad and all your fucking mates, you still wonder and imagine them doing what they did and believed they were well and alive, and that you knew for a fact that the last time you saw them they were, so they are, and I ain't fucking heard any different, so why wouldn't that be the fucking case? You might want to sit down. She manages to get up. I don't want to fucking sit down. No. I'm so sorry, she says. No. I'm sorry, Mum. I'm so sorry, she says. Just say it, Mum. I can't, she says. Mum, she's dead, she says. She? My dad? Who's she? Fucking she? Doesn't make any sense. Nah, bollocks. I say, come on, just tell me. Come on, fucking tell me, Mum. It won't get any easier. Just get it over with. We found her, she says. We, I say. Her. Fuck you on, Mum. Who? Where? Found? So Mum, being Mum, she thinks enough is enough. Not necessarily extending an olive branch, probably more concerned as to the whereabouts of the fucking golden boy, my brother. But anyway, she decides, being my dad and all, that she's going to nip round, you know, let us know that he's in hospital, that he's alive, he's in a bit of a state, wired up like a fucking pylon, but in the end he's going to, you know, make it through. She says the front door was just slightly ajar, unlocked. She thought nothing of it, just thought one of us had come in and pissed and not shut it properly. She says, I knew it was open as soon as I got through the main door. The fucking place stunk of joss sticks. So she goes in, and like, our place is small, just a little 1-bedroom place. You know, we've got one of those big red heavy fire doors, no windows, just a little spy hole at the front door, and you go through the front door and you can pretty much see the whole place. Short corridor, about 10 feet, that takes you straight into the front room, stroke kitchen. Not quite big enough to be one or the other, so what they do when they're selling it, they just smash it all through into one and label it open planned. Immediately on the left, as you go in, you've got the bathroom, and just past that on the right side is the bedroom door, our bedroom, and that's it. So anyway, she goes in, she pops her head in the bathroom quickly, standard. Toothbrushes, fucking overturned bin, couple of crusty flannels by the sink, my razor blades out on the side, her hair extensions hanging from the coat rack, my towels on the floor, blah blah blah, right old state. It got tough for Mum to talk about the next bit. So she's checked the bathroom, quickly like, and it's not until she starts looking in the bedroom and the lounge and the kitchen that what she had actually seen really starts to sink in. What she thought were her hair extensions was just actually her hair, just flopped over her face. The missus, what she'd done is she'd looped one of the curtain ties and tied it. And she's only small, bless her. She stood on the, because we found it kicked over on the floor, the bin, and then just looped it over the coat rack, just hung up like a coat. I was reading up about it. 8 seconds, they say, before the blood cuts off to the brain, and that's it. Fuck me, Dad had only been home a day, bless him. Well, Mum's only small as well. She couldn't get her off. She was trying to save her, but so she rang Dad, and he's pelted it round with his fucking dodgy heart, about to give himself another heart attack, and he managed to get her down, fucking giving it the Vinnie Jones on her chest. Said she was sick. All this black shit, like treacle, just came straight up. He said he thought they'd, done it, saved her, because she was sick. She did it about half hour after we'd been nicked. The paramedic, the police, that's what they said. It makes you feel a bit, I'm in the cell, feeling sorry for myself, waiting to get out, to go home, bumping the road aside, looking forward to that normal that we'd recently found. She didn't leave a note. She left a mess. That's what she left. Other than that, no explanation. It's weird. When I got her stuff back, her clothes and her phone and that, I had a look on her phone, to see if she'd left a note in there or anything, because she had it in her pocket when she, And she started doing this fitness app. It measures all your calories, your steps. You wouldn't believe it, right? This one time, we had a look, right? We hadn't left the house all day, but just walking around our tiny little flat, right? We'd done about 5 fucking miles just in the flat. Unbelievable. These fucking things are crazy. Well, we have been on the gear though, so it showed me that between 9 and 10 p.m, which is when the old Bill picked me up, she'd obviously been pacing the fucking house, fuming, because she knows I was on the source. 1,500 fucking steps in that hour alone. I mean, that's a lot of fucking steps. Either that or she was just casually having a lonely dance on her own. Can't really picture that myself. Between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m, she did exactly, it said 83 steps. It's got this little graph, a little red line that zigzags up and down, and then 10:24 to be exact, it just stops. Flat lines, I think they say. Then Mum said she came round at about 7 in the morning, and that's about the time that the little line does a little jump. Fucking mad that is, isn't it? When you're little, there's so much to be afraid of, isn't there? Fucking monsters, boogeymen, ghosts. I used to do that thing, fuck, I still do. You know when you're either walking somewhere dark, or more often than not, it's going up the stairs, and you get into your head that there's something behind you, and you can't look, you face straight forward, and you are so scared that you don't want to run, so you do this sort of half-assed fast walk shuffle type thing that ultimately results in you absolutely pelting it like Usain Bolt. Crazy thing is, you also end up closing your eyes, and although you're fucking decking it, you don't want to quite give it away with your body that you're running as fast as you can, and your arms are trying to go at it like you're walking. If there were anything trying to get you, I'm pretty sure whatever it was would be so fucking confused by this chicken-looking entity in front of it that it would gladly leave you be. That's what scares you, isn't it? Your imagination, that's what makes you run, makes you lose sleep. As you get older, not sure when, but other things take their place, It's not the supernatural that keeps you awake at night, not the things that's under your bed, it's the roof. over your head. It's not the dark. It's having to face the day. It's not seeing a ghost. It's not being able to see a ghost. I never wanted to see a ghost more. I waited up at night. I just sit there in the dark, just waiting, because that's what's meant to happen, isn't it? When you're alone at night. I'll go for a walk along scary woodland paths, hang around at graveyards, anything that I could possibly do. More often than not, I found myself wandering in the middle of the night in just my joggers and a t-shirt out into the freezing dark aimlessly. And the only reason I knew it was cold was because I could see my breath. Your body, it seems, I don't know, gives you a break. You don't process the cold, the rain. Went to a church, not to pray or ask for anything really, to be honest. I don't know why. I'd waited for her to come see me, to explain, to fucking say goodbye at least. I thought a church, a house of God, a place that's in direct contact, supposedly, with the other side. Direct, that's where I'm going to have the best chance, isn't it? Surely, I mean, I ain't been a saint, I know that, but people, you know, Christians and that, they're always banging on about, he came into my life when I needed him, he gave me the answers, I opened up, I let him in. Forgiveness, I'm here, I'm open, come in. Forgive. Load of bollocks. I sat at the back of one of those benches just waiting, asking in my head, help. As simple as that, just help. If there's someone there, he knows what I mean. I'm not sure these things are determined by specifics. Please help me, my girlfriend has killed herself and I'm a lost boy. I have no idea how to process this. And quite frankly, I want to join her. Oh, sorry, you just said help. I assumed you meant with cutting your grass. Nothing. I waited, nothing, no shining light, surprisingly no voice in my head, no sign, no nothing. So, of the options that I'd sort of had to solve this problem, ghost, well, that hadn't come about, not for lack of trying, church, religion, absolutely fuck all, no explanation, no resolution, no great fucking epiphany, so I'm fucked. You know, what am I meant to do? Currently, everyone is dealing with it, doing what they can, they're all so fucking sorry. And if you need to talk, I do need to talk to her. Talking to you isn't going to fucking change anything. I went above you and I tried talking to God, but that fuck doesn't talk back, so why would I talk to you? What do you have to bring to the table? Understanding, you don't understand what it's like unless you've been through it, and even if you've been through it, you weren't us. I understand football. Doesn't mean I can coach fucking Neymar, does it? No one cares. They pretend to, but then you become that person who's constantly bringing a fucking cloud to every conversation. And that's draining for everyone involved. And after a while, you see people's eyes glaze over before you've even started. And before they try and gently tell you that, oh, she did this. You know, she put this on all of us. We didn't ask for it and she did it. And she couldn't have loved you because if she did, then she wouldn't have been put this pain on you and selfish and all this fucking, she was troubled. You notice. Straight after. Everyone is all ears and willing to help, and then beyond that, as the days go by, they gradually, slowly but surely go back to normal. The listening becomes a bit of a task. I become a chore to console, to watch, to look after, to make sure I don't do anything stupid, to make sure I don't hit the bottle, to make sure I pay my bills, to make sure that I function. I'm essentially a fucking baby. 2 scenarios. I carry on like this. I carry on. I ask for money. I ask for help. I ask. I talk. Met with, look, I know this is tough, but at some point, you've got to try and move forward. You've got to, and we can't afford this, blah, blah, blah. 2, I do it. I just go for it. I just straight off a bridge or under a train. All of that changes then, doesn't it? You know, straight after, when you prove you were serious, then they start going, oh, well, if he needed money, if he needed help, he should have just asked. He should have just talked. I would have sold the house, anything to help. Those things only come to light once you've proven that you were actually fucking serious. And I was guilty of it. If she needed to talk, if she needed something from me, I would have done anything if I knew it was going to end like this. But then thinking of it like I'm thinking of it now, I don't want to top myself just because I'm depressed. I'm not depressed. I'm hurt. I want to see her again. I'm putting everyone out. Everyone having to deal with me. I've spent years of being a fucking burden. The best thing for everyone would literally be if I weren't here. I mean, I'm 32. If you do the maths, monetarily, just for example, that's a good 20 Christmases and birthdays I've got left with the folks. You know, think of how much money that saves them. Sure, they'll have to whack a few quid on the funeral and that, but practical expenses, bailing me out, lending me money, we're talking thousands I'm saving them over the years. Add to that the constant daily worry that's probably shortening their lives. What will I fuck up next? You know, it just puts a full stop, doesn't it? They then have a little cry. The next year, business as usual. Plus, no one ever looks back at anyone as a bastard, do they? You know, they'll put nice school photos out of me and say, oh, he was lovely, heart of gold. He had his demons, he had his troubles, but underneath that, he was a good boy. No one ever turns around and says, he died, which was a good thing, but he was a prick. We can say what we want and spin it however, but I suppose we are a bit better off now that prick isn't here. You know, we'd have preferred he went abroad to Australia or somewhere far, but alas, he stuck to his pricky ways, and like the prick he was, he stung us with a fucking funeral bill. The one thing stopping me just doing it right here and now, I feel like I need to talk to Dad. You know, we haven't really seen each other since, you know, so I want to make sure that it's all, you know, not left badly. He don't deserve that, and, you know, I owe him that at least. I'll walk to the house. And walking past all the houses on this route that I've taken so many times with her, it's got an odd air to it, knowing that this will be the last time. It seems that every garden in the world has faded plastic items, you know, once shiny, vibrant new toys for loud, joyous kids. Now every garden I see has at least a luminous green or a bit of orange plastic in it, a wheel or a ball or a part of something which once was but is now somewhere else. All that's left is this small little faded part of it, and what was probably once a vital component of a toy or source of unlimited fun now is the oddity in the garden, stuck out like a sore thumb and only stood to signify that this household had moved on. That was all that remains of those times. The bits that had snapped off, the straggler that got away when the rest of the toys were either thrown in the shed or taken to the tip, and it had stayed there, undeterred, half covered with grass and half buried in the turf. Not worthy of being a blemish that immediately requires attention, but to the passing eye, a foreign object of times gone by, like the modern version of ruins of some ancient, glorious, happy empire. It will still be there when I'm gone, as will our ruins. Scratches on the wall where she did it, the corner in the garden with the fag butts and bottle tops, the double locks on the back gates that she'd double padlocked to stop me wandering in pissed, made me use the front door so I'd get both barrels. Paving slabs that I put down on our first summer so we didn't have to cut the grass, and sat out there for hours with our chimenea, deck chairs and a few bottles of cheap vodka, leaning back, watching the sky and the fire, talking about everything and nothing. My stuff would be cleared out, all the big things moved, decor changed and redone, but little things, the paving, the bottle tops now covered with mud and dirt, the locks on the gates, other ruins. They'd have a new landlord, a new life beyond what we created. No matter what they became, what they were used for in the future, how they were interpreted, or who they were used by, they were our ruins, our contribution.